What started as a deliberate plan to subdue her to his power turned around on him and he became the subdued. No woman had ever affected him this way. In that moment, he knew he would never get enough of her. She felt like a million stars were exploding all over her head, like they were slow dancing somewhere in space, floating around the billions of stars. She didn't have much experience with kissing, but she knew that no other man's kiss would ever make her feel this way again. Suddenly he released her. Now, he began breathlessly. He still couldn't believe what had just happened. Mma nearly fell, but he steadied her. "Only my attention tonight," Uche said, trying to sound normal. Mma couldn't comprehend what was happening or when the table changed. "For your information," she began, searching her mind for what to say to put him in his place. Then she remembered Ken and latched on the idea. "I have a fiancé," she whispered, shaking to her core. "Then he's in for a good fight." "I will not stay here and listen to you talk like a madman," she spoke angrily, walking away, but he tightened his hold on her. "Could you do a madman the honor of dancing with him?" he said mockingly. "You'll have to be a mad woman to consent," she hissed. "There is one thing you forgot though. A madman doesn't need your consent." With that, he almost dragged her to the dance floor, where the number playing was a slow one. She had no choice but to follow him so they wouldn't make a scene. Mma refused to relax on his body. She stayed rigid and on alert because she had found out that her body seemed to have no will of its own. "Relax, I won't bite, not in front of all these people." "That doesn't mean you don't bite." He laughed softly, and Mma felt the hairs on her body standing on ends. "Maybe those who might stop me from having you. And there are so many who would. I'm a one-man squad, and I don't give up until I get what I want," he said, drawing her nearer to him. And immediately she leaped back, not wanting unnecessary contact with him. "Not even when the object of battle doesn't want you?" "The object sure wants me." "You mean under duress, like now?" "All is fair in love and war." She decided to keep quiet, because the more she talked, the more her temper rose. It was a mistake though, because the moment she kept quiet, the tension began to leave her body. Her hands found his neck of their own accord. It was as if she was falling into an abyss that had no end and there was nothing she could hold on to. Just as she was losing herself in the bliss, the music ended. Uche released her slowly and led her to a seat. His father was about to give a speech. As he began, he thanked the guests for coming. He asked for the floor to be officially opened by the couple. "I need a minute at the ladies," she told him, but she was only running away because more couples were entering the dance floor, and for her sanity's sake, she couldn't be that close to him ever again. As she opened the ladies, she wanted to turn and run when she saw Angela alone freshening her makeup. Mma gathered all her wits about her and walked in with confidence. As soon as she got to the mirror, Angela snapped her compact powder short. "From which dirty slum did he pick you?" she hissed. "Are you talking to me? You very well know that I am." "Then I will let you know he didn't pick me from any dirty slum." She snapped open her compact powder. "Don't make the mistake of reading too much into tonight because Uche and I are inseparable," she said coldly. "I could see how he never left your side." "You think you are wise?" She gave Mma her full attention. But he is only a man. He will take what you generously offer, but it will soon tire him. There have been others too, before you, who thought they could hold him down, but there is only me for him. When whatever he feels for you is outlived, he will come home to me. Be wise and run while you still can," Angela warned, and with that she left, banging the door. Mma heaved a sigh of relief and started powdering her face, all because of a man she had no interest in. She closed her compact powder and walked towards the door. Mma saw Eva standing as if she was waiting for her. She decided to avoid her. To her surprise, the other girl smiled at her. Hello, I was just waiting to talk to you, she smiled. Mma smiled back. I'm sorry if you felt embarrassed. Angela just pisses me off. But Uche straightened out things for me. In fact, we can get lunch one of these days, Eva smiled. Apology accepted. Lunch is very fine with me, Mma answered, smiling. Great, see more of you. The rest of the evening passed blissfully with Uche showering her with his whole attention and showing possessiveness that was annoying to her sometimes. She felt almost at home with his family, excluding his mom. Mma laughed silently at the irony of it all. She came to the party to impress Uche's mother and get a new business partner. How was she supposed to know that the woman would hate her at first sight? I think it's time I take you home. Your eyes are drooping, Uche said. Go get your wrap. Back in the Rolls Royce but with a chauffeur, then and gliding through the now silent streets, where the streetlights were the only indication of habitation, she turned and faced Uche, who was relaxing quietly with his eyes closed. What did you tell your sister about us? My sister? I told her a lot of things. What thing in particular? He asked tiredly without opening his eyes. You told Eva something that made her warm up to me. I ordered her to apologize to you and Angela, he answered without changing his position. Was that all? Why is this so important? He asked, heaving a sigh. I just want to know. I told her to be friendly to you because I've decided I want you. Why would you say that? You know I'll soon be married. But you are not yet married, are you? You think I would have a whirlwind affair with you before my marriage? But you are so tempted. I have kissed you and I know how you feel. Yes, deep hatred. Better hatred than nothing. Mma heaved a sigh of relief when the Rolls Royce glided to a stop. She gathered her things and waited for the door to be opened. Uche walked with her to her door and stood as she unlocked it. Mma unlocked the door, meaning to say a quiet goodnight to him with him outside. But he held the door. You don't want to go in without a goodnight kiss? No, I don't, she answered alarmed. Isn't that the culture for every gentleman and lady after a date? You are hardly a gentleman. Of course, he answered as his lips descended on her. She opened her mouth to protest. He seized that as an opportunity to deepen the kiss. Just as before, her resistance didn't last for long. It was as if she had no control over her body. Uche broke the kiss with an obvious reluctance. Good night and sweet dreams, he said. As shaken as she was, she managed to say good night and quietly closed the door. She collapsed on one of the armchairs, removed her shoes. What a night, she exclaimed. As far as she was concerned, this was the last time she was going to see him. With that, she got up, carrying her sandals and heading towards the room. Quietly, she got ready for bed, willing her mind to forget the dark, handsome man. Just as she lay down, her phone rang. She reluctantly picked it up. Hello, she spoke into the phone. Hello, a deep baritone voice answered. Mma knew at once that it was Uche calling, and a shiver that was becoming quite familiar ran down her spine. What do you want? Are you in bed? I was trying to get some sleep before your call disturbed me. Then let me talk you back to sleep. Just close your eyes and listen. Please, I don't need a bedtime story. I'm not a kid. Just the thought of that alone is driving me crazy. Uche, if you don't mind, I need to get some sleep because I have to get up very early. Then close those enchanting eyes and listen. You were asleep in a minute. Do you know that it was those eyes of yours that got me looking in the first place? They drive me insane. The tone of his voice plus what he was saying was already luring her into sleep. Really? She murmured dreamily. You enchant me with your fiery she-dragon nature. Mma had already gone to sleep with a smile on her lips and the phone in her hand. When he could hear only silence from the other end, he whispered, "Sweet dreams," dropped his phone and smiled contentedly. He laid back on his bed and wondered why he called her. He wondered if he was losing his mind. All he wanted was a little piece of her, but the way he was going about it, he looked as if he was going for happily ever after. He shuddered at the thought of living in bondage. That was the exact way he saw marriage. So he must be careful with the fiery-eyed witch. She was the kind of woman that had the power to bewitch a man till he forgot all but her. The one who stalked watched angrily, wishing to get hands on the woman he was talking to, wishing to touch him, but stopped fearing rejection. There was still time enough to win his love, and then touching him wouldn't be a problem.
Still of the night, I think of you. My heart beats with every thought of you.